Hey folks, this is Jake Davis with an on-the-fly review for you. And today I'm talking about Men in Black International, which was released yesterday, this weekend. And it's directed by F. Gary Gray and stars Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson, Liam Neeson, Rafe Spall, and Emma Thompson. I liked this movie. I did. It's a beautiful summer, sunny day here in Florida, and it's hot as all hell, but hey, that's the price you pay to live in paradise, my friends. Anyways, the whole setup to this film is, I've heard people call this a soft reboot. I don't see where they're getting that. This is a sequel to Men in Black 3. This follows up with the Men in Black. We meet Molly, who's played by Tessa Thompson. And as a child, she saw the Men in Black and was able to avoid getting neuralized, flashy thing. And, or deneuralized, I should say. She gets, I don't know what they call it. Anyways, so she spends her entire adulthood, 20 years of her entire life, trying to find the Men in Black. She qualifies for one federal application after the other. I mean, she qualifies for the CIA, she qualifies for the FBI, but those aren't the positions she wants. She wants to be with the Men in Black. But you don't get, you don't get offered. You have to be offered the job with the Men in Black. Anyhow, she eventually tracks him down, finds their office, and gets promptly arrested. But pleads her case, and they take it under advisement, and eventually they decide to put her on a probationary thing and send her to London for training. Now, of course, there's more here going on than meets the eye, but the agent she eventually gets paired up with is Agent H, played by Chris Hemsworth. And let me tell you something about Hemsworth in this. This kid just gets better and better with every year. It's like every time he steps in front of the camera, he has more confidence, he has more charisma, he has more just natural presence about him. He's really tuning himself in as a stellar movie star here. I'm very, very proud of that guy. And he's funny as hell, which doesn't hurt with this particular film. He is a bit of he's a legendary agent, but he's been on a rough spot. Something bad happened to him, and he hasn't really quite recovered. And while he's still a top-notch agent, he doesn't have the give a shit he used to. So eventually, of course, they get into this case. Now intergalactic, funny-ass space shit happens. It's the usual Men in Black thing. There's an invading army. There's something very small but very powerful here on Earth that they want. It's how they do Men in Black. The new recruit is a natural. She's very, very smart, very, very keen. Now, where I will criticize the film is that I felt, look, F. Gary Gray has a lifetime pass for me between Friday and Straight Outta Compton. I'm not going to hate on the man, no matter how many set-it-offs or negotiators he makes. But I do think this movie could have benefited heavily, if not was a necessity, to have a British filmmaker. I think just a guy like Edgar Wright or Guy Ritchie would have brought a lot more of that proper dry wit. It takes place in London. It's Men in Black International. Well, it doesn't all take place in London. There's a lot of glow popping, but it definitely seemed to lack that Britishness. You know what I mean? I would have liked more just British style humor. Overall, though, I'm gonna give this 4 stars because I had a really good time watching it, and I did like the characters, and I did like how, where you can make the argument that M, the girl, is a little too similar to Will Smith's J, but at the same time she's just as different, just because she's a girl. But stuff like like little things like Jay. I love how even by the time we get to Men in Black 3, he's a top agent. He's like one of their best agents. He's been doing this for 15 years, and he still isn't quite used to his job. Shit is still just a little too weird for him every now and then. But yeah, I really enjoyed this film. I'm gonna talk about sometimes You know, a twist ending should be a twist ending. It shouldn't be this something, oh, they're going to do this. You know, see it coming a mile away, before, you know, 3 minutes after they show the fucking title. But yeah, you know, there's this obvious spin happens at the end of the second act, and you're supposed to not see it coming, but you clearly, you're going to see it coming. You know, but I really enjoyed this movie. I had like I said, I had a lot of fun. I thought it was funny. I thought it looked great. Oh, it was wonderful to hear Danny Elfman's score again, even though I'm not sure. I think they just used his themes. But still, you know, I always loved that Men in Black score. I think it was the first time Elfman ever got nominated for an Oscar. But that's neither here nor there. Overall, it's a fun movie. I think it's worth the watch. It's something worth going to see. I definitely enjoyed it a whole hell of a lot more than this last week's X-Men. But, you know, nobody enjoyed that. And well, like I said, you know, this is obvious, or as I should say, I said earlier to someone else not on here, that now you can definitely write this off as a cash grab. You know, Sony Pictures is in trouble financially right now, and have been for a few years. You know, they're just, you know, they need a hit. They really need a hit, a big hit. And Men in Black is, I read a review that was not favorable. I mean, look, if you're not nostalgic, if you didn't love that movie, the 1997 classic, and if you weren't on board with the other sequels, then you might not enjoy this. But, you know, I loved Men in Black. You know, it was a phenomenon. It was the movie for that summer. I mean, there's no way you didn't catch it at the theaters if you were around at the time. But like I said, 4.5 stars. Had 4 stars. Fuck it, 4.5 stars, because I had a lot of fun, and just to be kind of give it extra points just because other people are being a little too harsh. So yeah, that's what I gotta say. I guess I could say real quick something about Tessa Thompson. You know, I'm not 100% sold on her as an actress right now. I don't think she's a bad actress, but I feel compelled to compare her to Kate Hudson. She just kind of does like the genuine, you know, film layer of performance. You know, it doesn't really seem to be anything deeper to the role than just this take. Anyhow, but that's just maybe just my little nitpicky, because at the same time I thought she was terrific, and I did like her very much in Sorry to Bother You. That was a brilliant, unique movie. I've never seen anything like that. Check that movie out if you haven't. Anyhow, yeah, hope y'all enjoyed this view. Hope you like this view. Go see Men in Black International this weekend. Because it's a damn good time. I'm Jake Davis, and I'll catch you on the fly.